A friendly reminder that in 3 generations, everyone who knew us will be dead, including the people whose opinions stopped you from doing what you wanted to do all along. That was a quote by Alex Hormozi that I've read and heard in multiple different ways by multiple different people. But this exact quote was the one that resonated with me the most. I just wanted to share it with the young Indian audience as well. I'm currently going through a phase in life as a 20-year-old where I literally have no friends. Yes, that can be hard sometimes. But yesterday I was having a conversation with a guy that's around my age, and he spent the next 10 minutes explaining to me how not having any friends in my 20s is literally ruining my 20s, and I'm not enjoying how I'm supposed to, and that I'm not living my 20s how they're supposed to be lived. I'm not saying that he was wrong in any way. He is probably trying to make the most out of his 20s and he's trying to enjoy them as much as possible, and he has his own opinions and principles that he stands by. But I too I'm trying to make the most out of my 20s, the best out of my 20s. It's just that my and his definition of trying to make the most out of our 20s is different. I believe that making the most out of my 20s means working my ass off until I earn a shit ton of money so that I can do whatever the hell I want even in my 30s, 40s and 50s. For me, it's literally cutting out anyone that's not pushing me towards my goals. Yes, a lot of people might consider that to be extreme, but for me, it's what I stand by and it's what fulfills me the most. And coming back to the Alex Hormozi quote, what would happen if I, instead of standing by my own principles, instantly followed this random guy's advice who I've only known for a few weeks and spent the rest of my life following that advice, or maybe the next 10 or 20 years following that advice? If I spell it out like that, you probably think that's a dumb notion. Why would you listen to a random guy's advice and then follow that for the next 10 years? But that's literally what we do. We change our entire lives based on single half-assed conversations with random people, with people who don't even live up to our own standards and don't live a life that we aspire to have. And we just go along with it for the rest of our lives. It doesn't happen in just one conversation. You have these small conversations with so many people talking about what you want to achieve every single day. And in these small conversations, they might subtly discourage you, or their opinion might differ in a slight manner, or in some extreme cases, they might completely disagree with you and want to even change your opinion on the matter. Maybe a single conversation doesn't matter as much, but when these conversations compound together, you lose the path that you initially started walking on, even unknowingly, only because everyone else deemed that you shouldn't walk on it. A lot of big decisions in life are also based on this theme. You probably had a single or two conversations with one of your best friends, or maybe even your parents, and they talked you into doing some particular degree, or maybe they're doing something and you just copy them, and then you spend the next 4 to 5 years of your life studying that particular thing that you decided on a half-assed conversation. And then that also decides what job you're going to get, what kind of house you're going to live in, what kind of friends you're going to make later. It decides all of this based on some single half-assed conversation that you had with a random person, or even someone that you loved, but it wasn't like a very thought through conversation. So the easy answer to this would obviously be to just stop listening. But the problem is that your mind in the age group of like 16 to 20, where I'm at as well, is in a position where it can be very easily influenced and molded by others. That's not your problem. Even I have that problem. So the best way possible that I found is to completely just cut myself out of the conversation, completely take yourself out of it. That's how I stand by what I sought out to do, because I just completely take myself out from any conversation that's about that topic. Everyone likes talking about themselves. You can be the exception to that. If you are saying something about your goals in the first place, everyone expects that you are talking about it because you want their opinion on it. But we obviously don't. So stop talking about your goals and keep acting in silence. Yes, however, for a lot of people, public declarations can be empowering. For me, they're very empowering. I feel that when I say something to my parents or I put it out on social media, then I feel like I have a commitment to achieve it. It can be very empowering for you as well. So if you want to make a public declaration about your goals, you have to completely separate it from having a conversation to now just making a declaration. Here's how to do that. First, you have to choose which people you are going to make this declaration to very wisely. You can't keep making a declaration to every single person you meet. Maybe a random friend, even text people on Instagram, or to your parents, to your neighbors, to everyone. You have to choose this list very wisely before making any declarations. And once you make that list, you're not allowed to tell anyone else. Don't just blurt it out because you want to flex your goals. also their goals. You haven't really achieved anything, so there's nothing to flex. And once you've achieved it, you won't really have to flex it to anyone because you've already done it. Second, don't treat the declaration like a conversation. Like I said previously, you are not there to listen to their opinions, you are just there to declare. Third, avoid future conversations about that topic. Even with those people that you made a declaration to, it was just a declaration. You are not there to listen to their opinions. Of course, if it's a person whose opinion you actually matter, or a person who actually has valuable opinions, then definitely listen to them. But still, don't blindly listen to anyone. Stand by your own principles, stand by what you decided originally. If you want to adapt something, then change it according to your own wishes, not just because someone else told you to, that this is the new boom, this is what you're supposed to do, this is not what you're supposed to do. Make your own decision. And to close off once again with a quote: in just 3 generations, everyone who knew us will be dead, including those whose opinions stopped us from doing what we really wanted to do. There are only 2 sides to this equation. You can either be the person who stops or the person who wins.